right, so going through a couple of these examples, we are going to, bumped into the phone holder, sorry. So we are going to go through these. So if you don't see an exponent, that's technically a 1 right there. So 9 is my coefficient, and there's technically a 1 there. So if I have 9 times 1, it's going to be 9. And then I deal with my bases that have exponents. So I'm going to write x to the, now if we're multiplying and we have the same base, I'm going to add those exponents. So it's going to be x to the 6th. So for this next one, I have 5 times 4. So I'm going to do that math first, is 20. Then I'm going to deal with my same base. So x to the, now because I'm multiplying, I add the exponents, 5th. All right, for the next one, when I'm squaring, I've got to make sure that I distribute the squared to both the 7 and the x to the 3rd, because both of them are in the parentheses. So I'm going to write it as 7 squared, and then x to the, so now I'm going to deal with the exponent raised to an exponent, so I multiply 3 times 2, so that's x to the 6th. So we can simplify this a little bit further, because we know what 7 squared is, and that's 49. X to the 6th, and that's my final answer. Oops, sorry guys, going a little bit off the window. All right, same deal goes for number 4. I'm going to make sure that I distribute the squared to all 3 things now in there. So it's going to be 4 squared. X to the 7 times 2 is 14. Y to the 2 times 2 is 4. So my final answer is 16x to the 14th, y to the 4th. All right, for number 5, we are going to simplify. So we have 7 over 21. So I deal with that first as like a fraction. So I just kind of say, all right, 7 over 21. I can divide both of those by 7, so it would be 1 over 3. Okay, and then I have x to the 8th over x to the 3rd. So now I deal with this. So it's going to be x to the, subtract those exponents, 5th. All right, and so we haven't seen any negative exponents yet, so we don't have to deal with relocating anything. All right, so number 6, we're going to do 18 divided by 9 is 2. And then I deal with the base. So x to the, all right, so this is a negative 2 minus 7. Negative 2 minus 7 is negative 9. Now I have a negative exponent, so I circle that negative exponent with the base, and I'm going to relocate that into the denominator. So it's going to be x to the 9th. And I make it positive when I relocate it. And then it's 2, so the 2 stays up top. All right, a couple more. So we've got, first thing, this doesn't have an exponent associated with it, so I'm going to put a 1 there. So I have now 2 different bases. So I've got x's and y's, so I'm going to deal with the x's part first. So x, now when we're dividing, we subtract the exponents. 1 minus 3 is going to be negative 2. And then I deal with the y part, so negative 4 minus negative 1. So negative 4 minus negative 1 is going to be plus positive, so negative 3. Oh, and both of these have a negative exponent. So I circle those, so both of those are going to go into the denominator and make them a positive exponent. And then, because there's no number in front, the number is technically 1, so we're going to put a 1 there. All right, a few more to go. So we've got 60 divided by negative 5. That's negative 12. All right, and then we've got our 2 different bases, so I'm going to work on the x one first. So x to the, so I've got negative 1 minus 6, because we're dividing, we subtract. Negative 1 minus 6 is going to be negative 7. And then I deal with my y to the 6th over y to the 3rd. So subtract those, so 6 minus 3 is 3. So now I circle only the negative exponents. Negative 12 is a negative number. I'm only going to circle the negative exponents, so that is x to the negative 7. So that's going to get relocated down into the denominator and get a positive exponent. The negative 12 is a number, and y to the third has a positive exponent, so those two things stay up top in the numerator. All right, and that's my final answer for that one. Last one. So we've got 3 over 2. Can I simplify that at all? Nope. So I'm going to write it as 3 over 2. Okay. And then I deal with the x part. So x squared over x to the third. So 2 minus 3 is negative 1. And then y, 5 minus a negative 1 is positive 6. So I'm going to circle this one with a negative exponent. That's going to get relocated in the denominator, but there's already something in the denominator. There's a 2. So that is going to join the 2 in the denominator. So 2 and then x to the positive 1. The 3 is up top, and the y to the 6 is going to stay with that 3. Okay, so that's it for today's notes.